Hi, I am Merit from Joineer, and I'm happy that you and your team are using the Team Barometer. To get it started, I will shortly share with you what the goal of the Team Barometer is, and then I will show you in the tool how the team meeting works and give you some tips and tricks for this meeting. So, what is the goal of the Team Barometer? Yes, we want to use it to help your team reach its full potential. The Team Barometer is not a survey tool. It is a tool for organizations that want to develop their culture together with their employees. Because the employees know best what they need to take off. They have ideas and want to contribute them. They want to decide as a team which of these ideas they will implement. The focus is always forward-looking, solution-oriented, and not backward-looking. This way, everyone in the team actively contributes to changes in the organization. You have already experienced how the Team Barometer works. Every few months, a few questions are asked of all employees. The employees rate these questions and give feed-forwards. After the survey, you and all employees see the results of their own team directly in the tool. Then comes the most important part. You discuss the results in the team and together you initiate measures for your team. I will now show you how this part works in the After your survey has been finished, you will receive an email saying the results are here, and if you click on the link, you will receive the results for your team here within the dashboard. After you have looked at the results, you can switch from the dashboard to the discussion mode. In the discussion mode, first you will find a page that helps you prepare for the discussion. In the middle, you have the questions that have been asked within this survey with their values and standard deviation. You can order the question here in the way you want to have it for your discussion. You can use either the presets order to do that, or if you prefer to do it individually, you can also click on question and drop them where you want to have them. On the left-hand side, in the yellow part, you will find support. There is a written guide, a short manual that describes the tips and tricks that I'm giving you in this video. And you also have a short checklist that explains to you what to do and gives short tips and tricks for every step. And last but not least, you have a possibility to download the presentation here. This is used if you want to have this discussion not using a screen. Maybe your team is not working with computers, or you would like to take your team outside to the forest to discuss the discussion there. Then you can download the presentation and use this for discussion. So after this preparation, you can start the discussion. And you will find your 8 questions that have been asked in this survey, questions and their values. If you scroll with your mouse over the value, you will find an explanation what this value means. The same for the standard deviation. And in the middle, the feed forwards. The goal of this team discussion is now that you handle all feed forwards. This means you either mark them as discussed or you create a task out of a feed forward. You go through all feed forwards and decide together with the team, is that a feed forward that we would make a task out of it, or do we just thank for the feed forward given? And we mark it as discussed. Thanks, Benjamin, for your comment, discussed. And Hobinia, now this I think is a very good idea, or we think as a team is a very good idea, so we create a task out of it. We can give it title and we can describe the task. Then we set a date and we assigned it to somebody in your team. Here we have the list of all our team members. We assign this task to Roger. When we save this task, now Roger will receive an email, and as we have set a date, he will also have the possibility to link this task to his calendar. This link will be in his email. Now we have handled all the feed forwards and we can go on to the next question. If during our discussion we create an idea for another task that has nothing to do with one of the feed forwards, we can anytime open a new task here. Or if we have an idea for a task, but we are not responsible for this issue. For example, we have a very good idea about how to handle expenses in the future, but we're not the accounting team. So we can create a new task and say we're unable to solve it within our team, but we do not want this idea to get lost. So we can describe it here. Sorry, expenses. We describe what the idea is, and now we receive the list of all the team administrators in our organization. And I look for the person of the accounting team, and I'm sending it to Lara. Now Lara receives this idea into her tasks, and she will decide how to go on with it. After we have gone through all the tasks, the system will tell me, great, well done, you have handled so many feed forwards and created so many tasks. And I can go with a link, or I can go here in the menu to team tasks, where I have the overview of what task we have decided in our teams. My own task, but also the tasks of the others in the team. I can also see what task we have completed from previous surveys, or the delegated tasks that we have been sending out. Later on, in a meeting, I can go back and have a look at here and say, okay, did we finish this task? If yes, we can mark it done, and it goes to the completed tasks. If I click on the arrow, I also have different options on what I can do with tasks. Now, this was a very quick introduction to how the team discussion works and is supported within the tool. If you would like to have more information, you can always chat with us via the chat button in this tool. Now that you know how to proceed in the tool to have the team discussion, I would like to give you some practical tips and tricks to make your discussion successful. We believe that agreeing on some simple rules for the conversation will help you to have effective rather than long discussions. I'll show you later what specific rules we suggest. Another very important principle is that the numerical values should not be in the focus of the meeting. The focus should be on the feed forwards, on what the team wants to change in the future. And another important focus, less is more. It is better to concentrate on a few measures that you can then implement effectively than to take on a lot as a team and not follow up on everything. If there is positive feedback in the feed forwards, or if you have given high scores, take active note of it and celebrate it with your team. It is important for motivation that successes are not simply taken for granted, but celebrated. And finally, it does not have to be you as a team leader who leads the team meeting. A team member can also do that very well. Everyone in the team has access to the discussion mode in the tool, so why not just try it out? Following these basic rules to the first step when approaching the team discussion, the preparation. It is not for nothing that they say preparation is half the battle. Every amateur chef and every paraglider pilot knows this. So, invite your team early and plan 45 at most 60 minutes. Maybe you have a weekly team meetings or something similar. Then you can have the team discussion after this meeting. In any case, we advise you to have the team discussion as close to the survey as possible. Then the topics are still present. You can also make the invitation while the survey is still running. Then look at the results and read the feed forwards. Maybe you are surprised, or pleased, or maybe rather irritated. Either way, by reading the results, you prepare yourself mentally. Maybe your team has submitted a lot of feed forwards and comments, and you are wondering, how do I ever get that done in 45 minutes? There is a simple possibility, the traffic light system. In the preparation, divide the questions that have been asked into the 3 colors of the traffic. Green are questions that have been assessed with a score of 5 or higher. In the brackets you see the values for scales from 1 to 10. Or scores who have been improved considerably since the last survey. That means the measures are taking effect and you are on the right track. Cheer together with the team about these successes and summarily acknowledge the feed forwards and comments that have been written. It is important that you do this. do this, it is essential that the employees realize that their feed forwards have been noticed. However, this can also be done summarily. Orange are those questions whose values are between 4 and 5, or which have a high standard deviation. Read the feed forwards and comments again carefully. If you believe that the issues and suggestions raised are very relevant for your team, then earmark these questions for discussion. Otherwise, treat it the same as the green questions. You should definitely discuss all questions with values below 4. There is obviously a need for action here. Discuss all feed forwards in the team and decide together which measures you want to take. Assign the defined task to someone and, if possible, set a deadline. This will help you to ensure commitment. As you can see, with the traffic light system, you can keep a focus even with many feed forwards. As mentioned earlier, good rules are also very helpful for an effective session. Here I show you which rules make sense from our point of view. A central point that I'm sure you can all understand. It will certainly happen again and again that someone from the team wants to say what is not going well. Mention this rule at the beginning and point it out to people if they do not follow it in the discussion. Here is a reminder of what feed forwards are all about. When giving feedback, I look back on a situation that has been annoying me, and I describe what has been annoying me. When I communicate in feed forward, I still have the same situation that is annoying me, but instead of describing that, I think of the future. What could we change? What could be done in order for this situation not needing to annoy me anymore, to be able to stop? And I communicate this idea. This is a feed forward. Let's get back to the rules. I mentioned this when telling you about the principles. Always remember this rule when the discussion starts to get stuck on numbers. Not everything has to be discussed and resolved. Central issues may need more time. Plan a separate meeting if this is important. Maybe the topic does not require all team members to participate. Create a task for this additional meeting in the tool. The team meeting is a team matter. Let all help and distribute tasks. This will further support you to be efficient in the meeting. Of course, it is important that everyone in the team knows these rules at the beginning of the discussion. This is what your team meeting could look like. Explain what the meeting is about and what the rules are. Click through all questions in the tool or in the discussion mode so that the team can see what the rating per question is and thus get an overview. Indicate how you want to proceed, whether to discuss all questions and feed forwards or use the traffic light system and get the team's agreement for this. This is important. After all, the whole thing is a team matter. Make sure that all feed forwards are dealt with. This can be done by marking them as discussed or by creating tasks. When you're done, go to Team Tasks in the tool so that you can see the overview of the agreed tasks in the team. Agree on how you will stay on top of the tasks. For example, you can look at the team tasks in the tool at a monthly team meeting and check off what has been done. At the end, look again at what has been done well in the team. For example, the positive development or the many feed forwards who show great commitment. End the meeting with a look at your team's strengths. You may now also ask yourself the question, yes, there can be negative comments. Employees who want to say what is not good, what has annoyed them, what bothers them. Admit that there are things that are negative or are perceived this way. Allow these comments, but do not give them much space with explanations or justifications. You can say, "Thank you for the feedback," and then ask for feed forwards. "Thank you for your feedback. What is your suggestion on what we can do to get better on this subject?" There may also be a situation where someone expresses negativity on a personal level. For example, that the expectations that you have of her cannot be fulfilled, or that it bothered him how you as the boss spoke to him at the last meeting. In such cases, it makes sense for you to say that you would like to clarify this in a personal meeting. If these comments are already visible in the feed forwards, then inform the team right away at the beginning of the meeting that there are feed forwards for personal discussion and that you will be inviting the person concerned for a personal meeting. What if you have a lot of questions or a lot of feed forwards to discuss? You have already learned about some of the possibilities. Use the traffic light system to structure the question and focus on what is important. Hold separate meetings if more time is needed for a topic that is important. And what also helps, instruct your team to read all results, including feed forwards, before the team meeting. This way, they can get into discussion much more quickly. So, this was a lot of theory, but basically nothing can go wrong. Just get started and find out what works well for you and your team. If you do get stuck along the way, there are different possibilities for support. In the tool, in discussion mode, you have seen the link for the leadership manual. In there you find the information I have given you today. When you are in the tool, on individual pages, there is the possibility to get a video explanation. Or you can chat with us via the chat function. Let me just get out of the way so you can see it. This chat function is available throughout the tool. If you prefer to call us or send us an email, you can also reach us this way. You can find the contact details on our homepage. Be sure to get in touch if you need assistance. We at Joineer are here for you. It is important for us that your team discussion works well. It's them who support you to actively develop your culture together with your team. I wish you and your team good meetings and lots of positive and interesting discussions about the best solution for your future.